All right, guys, it is time for another exclusive. All right. Now, it's not an exclusive in the sense of a news article. It's actually something that was posted on X, formerly Twitter, by Indy. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of the infamous Indy Kayala, whatever the fuck he's called, a so-called ITK in the know account. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what he said, because I'm sure some of you will have seen this yesterday, or you may have heard it. And that's why I review these exclusive articles, these exclusive claims, because sometimes when people repeat things they've read, they don't tell people where they read it, where they heard it. And before you know it, that's amplifying the rumor, the claims. So what I like to do is ensure that you guys know exactly where these claims originate from, right, whenever we go over them. So, Indy posted as follows, with the usual, I've got exclusive news for you coming up at 8 o'clock. I always think the minute anyone says, I've got exclusive news for you, I'll tell you about it at 8, 9, 10. That's to build excitement and engagement, right? Obviously. If you really had exclusive news, you'd want that out there the minute you had it, in case someone else beats you to it. All right, over the years when I've wrote exclusives, I'm like literally flapping, like, I've got to get this out before someone else fucking says it. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I don't know, you might judge things differently, but that's how I look at things. I just think, yeah, right, you got exclusive news, but you're going to sit on it for 6 hours. Fuck that. Right, anyway, I'm going to tell you what he's got to say, and then I've got Dave to break it down. Dave's my AI assistant. You will know that if you're a regular viewer. Dave's been trained to analyze various articles, football news articles, the people behind them that's making the claims, and also the platforms they're published on, such as the various newspapers and websites. So Indy says as follows: exclusive news. We understand on Friday the 5th of September 2025 at 10 a.m, not 10:02, 10 a.m, Fenway Sports Group Holdings open talks with Arne Slot's agent to extend his contract with Liverpool. Didn't say open talks. This is the English that they've used, open talks. Sources, you smell that. Sources say Arne Slot is thrilled about the offer and is keen to stay with the club. That's fantastic news for the Liverpool fans. Bayern Munich are believed to be long-term admirers of Arne Slot's work at Liverpool, so this is a big blow for the German club. The manager has been promised more elite players to bolster the squad in the near future. Now listen, I don't know, maybe it depends how old you are or how much you've got up here as to how much attention you pay to claims like what's there. So I asked Dave for his analysis and opinion, and not to be influenced by me in any way, shape or form. Not that I ever influence him like you should think this, otherwise what would be the point of it? So Dave's analysis is as follows. Right, Dunk, let's break this one down properly. Here's my own assessment, not a reflection of your opinion, because that was part of my instructions. I don't want you to guess what I want to hear. I want to know what you think. So, timing and context. Transfer window shuts, which then moves to natural shift in media chatter towards contracts and renewals. Slot has had a strong start at Liverpool, which moves to obvious speculation point. Will FSG try to tie him down now? Indy posts exclusive within hours of that conversation being all over fan discussions. This screams reactionary, not revelatory. Blogger bingo check. We do this on the exclusives, right? Exclusive news, tick. Sources say, tick. No names, no credibility. Thrilled, fantastic news, big blow, tick. Emotive fan service language. We understand, believed to be, tick. Hedging language, not reporting. Classic formula, pile buzzwords on top of generic predictions. The claims. Talks open Friday, 5th of September at 10 a.m. A precise timestamp, fake precision. Makes it sound more inside than it is. If he really had sources, he detailed the parties, location or outcome, not just a random time. Slot thrilled, keen to stay. Obvious filler. Managers nearly always say they're happy until they leave. Bayern, long-term admirers. Well, every successful Liverpool manager gets linked with Bayern. It's a stock line. Promised elite players to bolster the squad. Easy prediction. FSG literally just spent hundreds of millions of pounds. Of course they'll tell Slot reinforcements are coming. Nothing in here is anchored to evidence. It's safe, generic and unprovable. Hedging and told you so potential. This is exactly the type of post you're wary of. Throw it out there, wait a few weeks or months, then retweet it as proof of being ITK. If talks really are happening, it looks like foresight. If not, it quietly disappears down the timeline. It's not risk reporting, it's hedge betting with fan emotions. My verdict, which is obviously Dave speaking, this isn't reporting, it's predicting the obvious after the window closed and dressing it up as insider news with emojis and timestamps. The precision, Friday, 10 a.m., gives the illusion of access, but the actual claims are generic enough that he can't really be wrong. That's why it feels more like a future-proof told you so post than an exclusive. Indy hasn't broken news here. He's just written a post any Liverpool fan could have guessed in the pub on deadline day. It's hedging dressed as ITK, and the timestamp is nothing more than glitter on a bog roll. And then he's added a note. And he says, based purely on the previous exclusives we've logged, Dunk, I'd describe Indy like this. A hedger, not a reporter. He throws out obvious or highly likely scenarios, then retrofits them as exclusive once events naturally unfold. Buzzword merchant relies heavily on words like exclusive, sources, thrill, blow, fantastic news. Classic emotional hooks designed to appeal to fans, not to inform. Precision faker tosses in oddly specific details, e.g. Friday, 10 a.m. talks, or hotel meetings over breakfast, lunch and dinner. Some of you will remember that previously. That make it sound insidery, but with no names, no quotes and no verifiable evidence. Cult account operator, that's cult with an L by the way, builds a following by feeding teenagers and gullible fans the illusion of inside access, when in reality, it's speculation dressed as ITK gold. A parody of journalism. His style mirrors what you'd expect from a parody or banter account, but some take it at face value because of the volume of the claims. So if I had to sum him up in one line, he's not a journalist breaking exclusives. He's a Twitter showman exploiting obvious storylines and passing them off as insider scoops. And that concludes Dave's analysis or thoughts on the matter. Now, my take on it is anyone that says I'm going to tell you exclusive news at a set time is just trying to build up excitement. As you know, I've already said that. The minute the transfer window closed, the biggest discussion that followed within the 24 hours of that, other than the gay stuff going wrong, was surely it's time to renew Arne Slot, like a new contract for Arne Slot. That has to happen. And that's been the talking point. I don't know how deep you are into monitoring news and football discussion and things. But that's what everyone, well, not everyone, because maybe you haven't been. I don't want to exaggerate, or so I start to sound like them divs. But, a lot of people, that's the discussion, all right? So what happens is you can now claim to be, on the inside and say, oh, now look, we're discussing, a potential contract renewal for Slot. And what happens is that claim is now registered, on that timestamp of when it was made, right? So when that does happen, whether it's 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 2 years, whatever, I can guarantee that tweet there will be retweeted by the author of the account, because that's why they've posted it, because it'll be there to go back to, yeah? And I agree with Dave that when people are, you can't dispute or challenge a date like September the 5th at 10 a.m. Come on. How gullible does one have to be, If you're going to give, inside information, I want to know who was at that fucking meeting, you can still lie about it, all right? And Dave's saying there, he doesn't even mention a venue, but you can mention the hotels as well. None of this stuff is verifiable, so it depends whether you actually believe, the author or journalist. If it was a journalist, this isn't a journalist. It depends the trust you've got for that person, right? So what I would do is I would suggest, give me an exclusive that isn't easy to predict, right? Because Arne Slot, new contracts and things, we know that that's going to come. So give me an exclusive about something that we just don't fucking expect, so that you can later tell us, wow, all right? Saying, oh yeah, I mentioned, 6 months ago, 9 months ago that Liverpool were going to go all in for Isak, I actually don't think it was that wording. I think it was that the ownership had been said you can go and do it. These are just very vague, like easy things to predict. And the claims that are made that don't stand or don't happen disappear to be forgotten. And most of these accounts, they delete them. There's another really notorious account. It's not just about Liverpool, I think. Oh, no, it is about Liverpool, actually. And that's just another, account that does these kind of things. And Dave was analysing it for me a few months ago. In the end, I didn't need to make a video about it. But Dave found the claims that this account had made, and then all the tweets relating to the claims that had been deleted 6 months down the line, 3 months down the line, when people have forgot. All right? So that tweet there, you'll see that tweet again, and it'll be, see, told you. You know what I mean? Now, if it's harmless fun, it's harmless fun. There's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, some people actually believe this nonsense, So if you're one of those people that believe that nonsense, and you're going to tell me, oh, you got loads right, you find me the stuff that isn't already knowledgeable, that isn't known, that isn't, easy to predict, and I'll bow my head. But we've got the log, we've got all the claims, and we can reference them at any time. So there you go. All right, I'll leave it with you. That's it. If you found the video informative, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. Obviously, Arne Slot's going to get a new contract. It's pretty obvious. When do you think that will happen? Does he deserve one? What do you think? Let me know. If you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, there is a love heart under the video called a super thanks. And anyone that does that, I always give them a shout out in my morning briefings on my other YouTube channel, Duncan Oldham channel, the link of which is in the video description and on the screen around now. And that's how we do things around here. People that want to get me a beer or a coffee can do so. I don't sell you ball shaving products, betting affiliations. I don't clickbait you. I like to run it fair and square. All right. So people that want to support me can do so like that. Okay, guys, I'll leave it with you. I'll speak to you real soon.